What's going on, y'all? This is another movie review, the first of this year, and I wasn't going to do any movie reviews for January because to me, January is the worst time to release movies. But M. Night Shyamalan is very, very interesting when it comes to movies. Now, when I first saw the trailer for Split and I saw the idea that where he was trying to go, I was intrigued. But in the trailers, when they were mentioning the Beast, and then they showed us a couple of clips of him almost transforming, um, I got a little worried because I thought that with the distrust that the audience has with him lately with his movies, aside from The Visit, which we'll talk about later, that he was basically giving away the movies so he could get people in the seats. But I was dead wrong, and I'm not gonna say this movie has a twist. Now, this movie is based on Kevin, played by James McAvoy, who has 23 distinct identities going on in his head. And he decides to kidnap these three girls. One of the girls played by Anna Taylor Joy, who was the star of The Witch, which was one of my favorite movies last year. And he puts them in a room, and the whole movie is them trying to figure out and escape. Now, throughout the movie, they show you clips of Anna Taylor Joy's character and what she was going through basically in the movie when she was a young girl with her father and her uncle. And throughout the movie, I thought it was going to be a problem the way they were cutting away from the movie into him basically visiting his therapist, psychiatrics, or whatever you want to call it, and basically her trying to help him. Now they did it differently in this movie with when you get a therapist in a movie trying to you kind of see what's coming towards the end and how that's going to play out. But the way they did it is she was actually genuinely trying to help him and bring the awareness to other doctors in the field. And I thought that was a great way to go. Now, I won't talk about the whole movie. I want to get towards the ending and basically explain what the ending is. Now, while the movie was going on, I was very intrigued with what it was, and James McAvoy was brilliant in this movie. Every single identity that he played was distinct from the other one. Um, uh, Hedwig, I think, yeah, Hedwig was one of my favorites. He played the 9-year-old boy, and he was the one that basically the girls, especially Anna Taylor Joy, was trying to manipulate and take advantage of him, but he was to me the scariest because you didn't know how he was going to react. And there's this one scene where he was showing her his CD player and he was doing this dance. And M. Night Shyamalan, when he did an interview, he was talking about that the whole dance consisted of him basically dying and coming back to life as a zombie, which was kind of cool. But then she finds this walk. He shows her the walkie-talkie that he had stolen from his other identity, Kevin, and she tries to use it, and you could see how menacing he could be. We chased her with a baseball bat, and tried to hit her, and let's go towards the end of the movie now. When we get to the end, this is when I got a little worried. Now, the movie that we were getting to me was based in a real world. This could actually happen with a guy having these identities and kidnapping and stuff like that. But then he starts to transform to the Beast, as they call him, and when you see him finally, you see all these veins on his body and stuff like that, and him climbing walls and stuff. And I was trying to figure out where the hell is M. Night trying to go. Now, throughout the movie, it's an M. Night movie. While I'm watching the movie, I'm very interested. I'm waiting for the twist to happen. I'm waiting for the twist to happen. So he chases her. She locks herself. She has a shotgun, basically, that he had told her because she had said his real name, and that basically brought him back, which is the psychiatrist wrote on the paper, said once you say his name, he goes back, but not for very long. And so she has a shotgun, and when she shoots him twice, nothing happens to him. And I'm trying to figure out now, his mind, basically all these identities made him transform into this beast where nothing could affect him, which was kind of weird for me. And while she ran inside the cage and closed the cage, he ripped off her shirt, and he could see all the scarring that she has, and he could tell that she was troubled and she wasn't this spoiled girl, as they say. And it kind of related to each other between him and her, so he left her, and then the cops came and they found her in the zoo, and then they found all these bodies and stuff like that. Now, I was kind of waiting for the twist, but trying to figure out what the hell was going to go on, because the ending didn't take me out of the movie that much, but I was trying to figure out, you set it up in a world where this could actually happen, into somebody basically transforming into a beast. Now it becomes a supernatural type movie and stuff like that. So then cue the Unbreakable music, and that's when it clicked for me. So as the shot goes towards the end and everybody's at the diner watching the news, it's panning and it's playing the music, and I'm like, wait, is this really happening in this world? Because if it did, then everything kind of makes sense to me now watching this whole movie. And it pans and they're talking about something, and then the camera goes right to Bruce Willis and he says, Mr. Glass. And it clicked to me. This movie is taking place in the Unbreakable world where superheroes exist and all these type of things happen, and it just made the movie a million times better for me. And me wanting to go watch the movie again so I could pick up on so many things. I can't wait to see the movie again. And to know this, when M. Night did his interview, he said he had this character written when he was doing Unbreakable, and he wanted to include this character. I don't think he was gonna have James McAvoy play the character, but this character Kevin with the 23 personalities, he wanted him to be an Unbreakable, but he never got the chance to put him in that movie. So now what I'm thinking is he's creating his own universe, which is distinct from the Marvel and the DC cinematic universe and X-Men and everything like that. It's a different type of superhero movies, and it's just very intriguing, and it makes me like the movie so much more. And just watching that, it's honestly my third favorite Shyamalan movie, behind Unbreakable number one, Sixth Sense number two. I think this, Signs, and then The Visit and everything else. We won't talk about it, but it's nice to see that studios, especially Blumhouse Productions, giving M. Night a $40 million budget or below, a $10 million budget or under, and telling him, go make the movies that you used to make. And it comes out, he does it for that much. Opening weekend, he makes $40 million, which is very good. So with that movie making that much money, and hopefully it keeps going on in the upcoming weeks, hopefully that will have M. Night start writing and getting us to either a different movie in this universe or an Unbreakable 2, hopefully. To score this movie, I would give this movie an 8.5 out of 10. I would love to give it a 9.5 out of 10 just for James McAvoy's performance, because he was so good. But I don't want to overdo it for first movie of the year, so I'm going to give it an 8.5, which is really, really good. This movie is very, very enjoyable.